When we first encountered the humans, it came as a complete shock. It's not every day that a major galactic government fails so badly that it misses discovering an entirely new intelligent species in its own territory. Sure, this part of our space was quiet and undeveloped, but the sheer amount of radio signals humans were recklessly blasting into the void left no excuse for our leaders. We couldn't yet understand how this had happened, but there was no time to investigate. The humans themselves couldn't wait. They had already deciphered our language and were busy learning about our economic systems and worldviews. Somehow, they had been observing us for nearly one of their years. Thankfully, the Galactic Union already had protocols in place for situations like this, though they were usually for primitive species just discovering faster-than-light travel. The decision was made to grant humans a 100 light-year buffer zone around their homeworld, now known to us as Earth. Unfortunately, about 30% of that space overlapped with the Kranos Collective, but we'll address that later. When our diplomats finally made contact with the humans, we were once again stunned, this time by their physical nature. Earth's gravity was near the upper limit of what was theorized for a planet capable of developing spacefaring life. If it had been any stronger, humans might never have been able to achieve orbit with their early space programs, let alone develop further. Most species from such high-gravity planets either gave up on space travel entirely or needed to be uplifted by another, more advanced species, and yet the humans had done it all on their own. For those unfamiliar with high-gravity sapient species, they tend to be small, averaging half the size of humans. They typically rely on cooperation and numbers to overcome larger predators, solving problems collectively. Humans, on the other hand, were a stark exception, despite their average height of 2 meters, below the galactic norm. They were immensely strong. Compared to the average galactic species, humans were almost monstrously powerful. Their movements, too, were distinct. Humans, shaped by their high-gravity environment, moved quickly and efficiently, almost mechanically. This gave them a reputation for being brute laborers, a perception reinforced by their apparent clumsiness in delicate situations. It didn't help that human engineers had a habit of fixing things by hitting them, something they called percussive maintenance. To the shock of many, this method actually worked. At first, these oddities made humans the subject of countless jokes within the Galactic Union. Their strength was intimidating, and humor was our way of masking fear. The humans, however, didn't care. In fact, they laughed along with us, even crafting their own jokes at their expense. This surprising attitude helped ease tensions and allowed us to see them in a friendlier light. One recurring joke suggested that if Earth were ever invaded, humans would simply surrender it without resistance. However, humans didn't seem to mind these assumptions. They focused instead on expanding their reach, building mining stations, establishing colonies, and signing trade deals. Humans proved themselves to be hard workers with remarkable energy and above-average intelligence. Their ability to channel resources and produce high-quality goods impressed everyone. For a while, it seemed like the humans were on the verge of an economic golden age. Their productivity skyrocketed, and their trade partnerships flourished. But then came the trouble with the Selvar Alliance, a highly religious avian species. The Selvars had long been trying to convert the galaxy to their beliefs, with little success. Early in their trade relations, humans signed a highly profitable deal with the Selvars, which became a cornerstone of their economy. However, disaster struck when one human leader casually referred to the Selvars as the galaxy's Jehovah's Witnesses in a private conversation which leaked to the public. This offended the Selvars deeply. Their leader, Speaker Avaric, immediately declared that all trade with the humans would cease. The humans' most lucrative trade deal was gone overnight. The sudden loss of trade with the Selvars sent shockwaves through the human economy. This deal had been the backbone of their economic expansion, and without it, they faced a significant setback. The Galactic Union expected outrage, perhaps even threats of retaliation. Instead, the humans did what they always seemed to do: they brushed it off. Humans issued a formal apology to the Selvars, acknowledging the offense caused by their leader's remarks. Then, without missing a beat, they turned their focus inward, working to rebuild their economy. Though the embargo hurt them deeply, they did not complain or lash out. It took nearly 2 decades for them to fully recover, but recover they did, quietly and steadily. Things took a more serious turn when the Kronos Collective, one of the most feared military powers in the galaxy, took notice of the humans. The Kronos were not part of the Galactic Union, and for good reason. They were a militarized nation known for their ruthless campaigns and ability to overpower almost any adversary. Their territory had expanded steadily over centuries, and their war machine was unparalleled. The Kronos declared war on the humans, seeing them as a weak and untested species. To them, humanity was an opportunity to assert dominance and expand their borders further. The Galactic Union, having faced the Kronos' wrath in the past, refused to intervene. When the humans appealed to us for help, we offered only condolences and wished them luck. The humans, as always, didn't seem to care. They thanked us for our concern and began preparing for the fight ahead. The Kronos attacked swiftly, as was their way, and quickly advanced into human territory. Surprisingly, the humans didn't meet them in battle. Instead, they evacuated their colonies and left enormous planets empty. The Kronos wasted enormous amounts of resources, bombarding and conquering deserted worlds. Furious at this unexpected strategy, the Kronos doubled down, intensifying their attacks. In response, the humans struck back in an unconventional way. They unleashed biological weapons on the Kronos ranch worlds, which produced the livestock their carnivorous species relied on for food. The humans didn't target civilians. They targeted the food supply itself. Within weeks, the Kronos' agricultural systems collapsed. Famine swept through their empire, leaving millions on the brink of starvation. The Kronos tried to retaliate by attacking human agricultural worlds, but this time they encountered fierce resistance. The humans defended their farms with unrelenting determination, using their strength and ingenuity to outmaneuver the Kronos' forces. Even when defeat seemed inevitable, humans destroyed their own farms and livestock to deny the Kronos any spoils. This brutal back and forth took a heavy toll on both sides. The Kronos began to crumble under the weight of internal chaos. Riots broke out across their empire, and reports surfaced of desperate Kronos resorting to cannibalism. Despite their suffering, the Kronos leadership refused to relent. In a final act of rage, they unleashed their most powerful weapon, a gravitational catalyst aimed directly at Earth. The weapon shattered Earth into 12 pieces, utterly destroying humanity's homeworld. For the first time since our initial contact, the humans showed emotion. They mourned deeply for their lost cradle world, their grief visible even to us. Yet, even in their sorrow, they remained resolute. Rather than being defeated by this catastrophic loss, the humans seemed to grow more determined. The destruction of Earth marked a turning point in the war. The humans, now fighting with the full force of their remaining resources, began a relentless campaign to push the Kronos back. They reclaimed territory planet by planet, refusing to stop until they reached the Kronos' borders. By the time the humans reached the borders of the Kronos Collective, the once mighty empire was a shadow of its former self. Starvation, internal unrest, and relentless losses in battle had brought the Kranos to their knees. Their leader, Supreme Admiral Zarek, finally issued a formal request for surrender. He arrived at the negotiations looking exhausted and defeated, his once imposing figure now frail. The human representatives, General Mira Larson and Admiral Victor Kane, listened to Zarek's plea. He offered his ceremonial blade in a gesture of submission, asking the humans to spare his people. "We have made grave mistakes," Zarek said. "We underestimated you, and we paid the price. Please show mercy to my people. They do not deserve to suffer for my failures." The Galactic Union representatives present to witness the surrender expected the humans to exact brutal revenge. After all, Earth had been destroyed, a loss no species could bear lightly. Yet, to everyone's surprise, the humans accepted the surrender with remarkable grace. General Larson addressed Zarek, her voice steady but firm. "We accept your surrender. Your lands will become part of our republic. They will be treated as our own." However, Admiral Kane added a chilling statement. "You, Zarek, will be held accountable for the destruction of Earth. You will face public execution for your actions." Zarek nodded solemnly. "If this is the price I must pay to save my people, so be it." The Kranos Collective was officially annexed into the Human Republic. But instead of treating the Kranos as enemies, the humans showed a surprising level of compassion. They immediately began supplying food to the starving Kranos population, distributing preserved meat and other resources that had been prepared during the war. The humans even worked to reverse the damage caused by their own biological weapons, developing cures and vaccines to restore the Kranos agricultural systems. This effort to rebuild the Kranos territories was met with both gratitude and respect. The Kranos, who valued strength above all else, saw the humans' actions as a sign of unparalleled honor. They embraced their new role as part of the Human Republic, adapting quickly to their new circumstances. Meanwhile, the execution of Zarek was put on hold indefinitely, as the humans needed his help to stabilize the former Kranos Empire. Over time, Zarek became a respected advisor to the human leadership, his sentence permanently postponed due to his contributions. The Kranos people, inspired by his cooperation, grew to trust and admire the humans even more. With the war over, the humans turned their focus to rebuilding. They used the vast resources of the Kranos territories to fuel an unprecedented economic boom. Former Kranos military technology was repurposed to strengthen the Human Republic's defenses, ensuring they would never be caught off guard again. Together, humans and Kranos ushered in a golden age of peace and prosperity. Years later, I asked a human leader why they had chosen to fight the Kranos instead of surrendering their homeworld, as the jokes had predicted. He replied with a faint smile. "Earth was more than just a planet to us. It was our beginning, and we couldn't let that be taken from us without a fight." I also asked him about the time humanity seemed to truly care about something, the destruction of Earth. He paused, his expression growing somber. "We were prepared for losses," he said. "But Earth, that was a loss we could never accept. It was a wound that will carry forever." Reflecting on humanity's actions during the war, I realized something profound. While humans often appeared indifferent, their strength came from their ability to endure. They had shown the galaxy that they didn't need to fight fair. They simply needed to fight smart. And when they did care about something, the entire galaxy took notice. Today, the Human Republic stands as a beacon of resilience and determination. Their partnership with the Kranos has transformed both species, proving that even in the face of unimaginable loss, humanity can adapt, survive, and thrive.